American author Daniel Handler once wrote, "Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it isn't so." Of the many things that are impossible to truly understand, mental illness proves to be one of the most mysterious to individuals who are not suffering. Without the ability to empathize comes confusion, which in turn creates problems for everyone affiliated with a suffering individual. In Turtles All the Way Down, John Green forcefully demonstrates the negative impacts that mental illness has on connections such as friendships, family, and romantic relationships by showing how problems develop as the protagonist's OCD progresses. First, Az's friendship with her best friend Daisy is negatively affected by her mental illness. The three problems Aza has with Daisy revolve around distractions, uncomfortable interactions, and communication issues. First, she didn't remember the conversation at lunch because she was too busy worrying about the bacteria inside of her. Aza suffers from OCD and constantly believes bacteria is slowly attacking her from the inside out. Her illness does not allow her to fully engage with her friends in a simple conversation, clearly affecting her ability to connect with the people that know her best. Now Aza doesn't want to go to Applebee's because she knows she will be uncomfortable and thinking about other things the whole time. People with OCD regularly have intrusive thoughts and they engage in compulsions that decrease distress. This causes interactions to become awkward, and sufferers often believe they are the only ones that could have these kind of thoughts. Aza doesn't want to tell Daisy what was going on in her head because it seems as though that is all they talk about. Since Aza is constantly thinking about her obsessions, she is unable to listen to her best friend's problems, causing major communication issues to develop. Furthermore, Aza's mental illness takes a toll on her relationship with her mother based on financial, emotional, and isolation issues. First, Aza mentions wanting to apply to more expensive and faraway universities, but her mother tells her to be realistic. Money is clearly an issue, and some studies show that a large number of family members have had to leave their jobs in order to help the sufferer. If this situation is observed through a Marxist lens, Aza's mother represents the proletariat who is clearly struggling financially, and the bourgeoisie is represented by those with enough money and emotional support to move across the country for school. Next, Aza's mother realizes that her daughter is upset and in pain, and wants to somehow take it from her. Relatives often want to relate in order to understand, but it is impossible for the sufferer to share their obsessions and compulsions. Another problem that often develops within a family is isolation. This usually occurs when young children are involved and they grow up blaming themselves, developing social and emotional issues of their own. Aza's mom is constantly isolated from her own life as she spends so much of her time focusing on her daughter's mental health. Finally, Aza's mental illness negatively influences the romantic relationship with her love interest, Davis, due to unnatural habitats, intimacy issues, and the feeling of helplessness. Davis wants to go out so Asa can meet his friends, but because of her OCD, Asa feels uncomfortable in social situations. Due to the nature of OCD, the person suffering cannot fully partake in every aspect of life, meaning their partner is also restricted, and feelings of resentment can often develop. Next, Davis wants to hang out with Asa in person, but she prefers talking to him through the phone. Her OCD ultimately determines their level of intimacy, since she obsesses about bacteria and is scared to kiss him, even if she wants to. This causes major problems because Davis thinks Asa only likes him from afar. Lastly, Davis really wants to help Asa, but she knows he can't do much for her. The suffering individual often feels powerless since their partner cannot truly understand how much the illness controls their actions. All of these factors lead to the inevitable demise of their relationship. Mental illness negatively affects several types of connections, such as friendships, family, and romantic relationships. John Green witnessed all of these problems firsthand as he suffers from OCD himself. By channeling his personal experiences into examples, he demonstrates how difficult living with a mental illness can be and how it affects everyone surrounding the person suffering. Green's novel allows the reader to observe mental illness from a new perspective. Turtles All the Way Down illustrates that things which cannot be understood still exist, and its name presents the perfect metaphor for mental illness and all it entails.